Because every video is someone's first, A Life Well Played is a channel dedicated to men's health and gaming. I want to facilitate a positive environment for us to get together and share our collective knowledge. This is how we get stronger. If you want to jump right into the men's health section, check out the time step in the description below. I talked about bringing on guests to interview on this channel to get another perspective, and today I have an amazing guest, my man Titan from the NTAT YouTube channel.
What's up, everyone? As you know, I am Titan, the co-host for NTAT, and I am so excited to be here on A Life Well Played.
So let's jump right into the interview today. We're going to be diving into the new survival game Enshrouded. I've had my eye on this game for a while. As I've said in my Power World video, I'm not a survival game fan, but I'm a huge RPG fan. So when I heard this game mixes the two, of course that made my ears perk up. Titan has been playing, so I wanted to ask him a few questions both for myself and for anyone listening. What were your initial thoughts from the trailer versus how you feel about the game now?
The trailer for Enshrouded really hyped me up for this game, but I had my reservation. They claim to offer improved building mechanics, exciting enemies, and a vast world. Well, we've all heard the same claims from many devs before, and it's usually about half of what they claim. After purchasing the game, I was immediately hooked. Now that I'm 55 hours into the game, and my excitement for the game is still at an all-time high, and I have not been disappointed in the slightest.
55 hours? I would hope that you still like the game. So it sounds to me like the devs actually delivered on what they said. I like that. What are the key features that set Enshrouded apart from other survival games?
Enshrouded offers a unique aspect to survival games with its skill tree. There are so many different styles of gameplay that you can 100% have multiple characters doing different builds and it feel like a completely different game. To me, the RPG elements set this game to an entirely different playing field. It's hard to really compare it to other survival games because it offers so much more. With that being said, I do believe that the game Conan Exiles has a skill tree as well, but I haven't had the chance to actually play that, so I can't fairly make the comparison.
Now, you know that makes me smile. Anytime you say, deep RPG, I'm all for it. Is this a game you see yourself playing long term, or do you think it's going to get old after a while?
100% long term. Everyone knows that survival is my favorite genre, specifically for the building. The building in Enshrouded scratches that itch. It's so much more in depth than any other game offers. I love being able to really build how I want to, without being locked by overlapping pieces. As with any survival game, the camera angles can be a little bit weird at moments. If they added a overhead view kind of like Starfield's build mode, it would be too perfect. For this playthrough, I actually built my base using old ruins, and I was actually able to repair the building and fix it and make it unique to me. With all the different places to build and the things to see and do, I can see myself playing this for a really long time and still discovering new things. I really hope that they add dev commands sometime in the future. The building is so satisfying that I would really love to just have unlimited resources to spend hours just building.
Okay, so with that said, would you suggest this game to a non-survival game fan?
This game is absolutely designed for you to play how you want to. If you want to build, go right ahead. If you don't, that's okay too. Building is a very small necessity that you don't really have to spend the time to make buildings if you don't want to. The game offers a really fun skill tree, exciting combat, and a really fun world to traverse. I would recommend this game to anyone and everyone, especially for people who aren't survival fans, because there are still plenty of other aspects to the game to explore, and this will help branch out a little bit.
See, that's music to my ears. I'm so glad you said that. See, that's got my hype even further. So now I have a couple more questions I want to ask you to kind of dig a little deeper into different parts of the game. So tell me about combat. How does it work? What does it closely relate to in terms of combat that we've seen before? And how does it feel?
The combat system is very much like Valheim, but improved a lot. You have wands and staffs, swords and shields, bow and arrows, hammers and hatchets, and so much more. You have a skill tree that revolves around how you want to play. I love to play a wizard, and this game gives me everything I could want. Enemy levels depend on locations, and certain areas are even locked until you reach a certain flame altar level. Just like Elden Ring, if you go somewhere that you're not supposed to be, death is inevitable. I have rage quit several times during this game. The bosses can be refought, which I think is awesome. All enemies have a unique fighting style, and I enjoy learning how to counter each one. My one complaint actually happened last night. I went to fight a boss, and in 2 shots, I killed it. I was actually so confused that I started to look around for it, but then I saw its loot pile, and I was like, okay, this is a little weird.
Ah, okay. So it's one of those situations where it's like the enemies prior to the boss took more shots than the actual boss themselves. Yeah, that's a little annoying. So you have to keep us posted on what you discover with that. So my next question, how does the survival aspects of the game match up to other ones like Power World?
Survival games all follow the same formula. Collect resources, craft, get better resources, and survive. Chopping down trees, collecting berries, it's all the same. Where Enshrouded differs from Power World, and really most other survival games in general, the mining. It is so much more natural. By that, I mean that the ores are actually mined from the side of mountains or cliffs, or by digging underground, instead of being a random chunk of rock that looks unnatural and so out of place. I am actually a really big fan of Power World too. I think that the game is unique in itself for a survival genre. Again, the survival elements are very basic, but the world and all of the fun Pokemon, pals, are really fun. I can't say that I would enjoy the capture system and the pals in a survival game like Enshrouded. I think that they are both really fun and different enough to make me want to play both. One thing I do enjoy about Enshrouded compared to other survival games, which some survival enthusiasts might not like, there is no hunger. You're not going to die or lose stats for not eating, but eating does a great job at improving stats.
Most survival games are devoid of a story, or at least there's only one that serves to put you into the world and let you loose. Is this how Enshrouded works, or is there a deeper story for players to jump into?
For games like Rust or Ark, you're really just woken up into a new world. They don't really explain anything, there's no backstory or any kind of lore to the world. With Enshrouded, there's a cutscene at the beginning that does a really good job of explaining the world and who you are. Most survival games don't do a good job at that. As for a story, it's very much like Elden Ring, where you are discovering lore as you traverse the lands. They set it up like there would be more cutscenes and storytelling, but so far there really hasn't been any. And I'm not the type of person to want to read everything that I pick up, so I'm probably losing out on a lot of lore.
What are some other survival games that you have played, and how does Enshrouded stack up?
One we mentioned earlier is Power World, which is a really fun one. No Man's Sky is another one that I find myself playing frequently, and also Valheim, but honestly Enshrouded has just replaced it. These three offer something unique and enhance the normal survival style. Then, I'm also a fan of your basic survival games like Ark, Rust, The Forest, DayZ, and of course Minecraft. I genuinely love all of these games, and I get it. To some people, it's just not it. These games, you don't really spend a long time playing. It's good when you're in the mood and you want to play it for a little bit, but then you just don't touch it again. I enjoy these games, but there's nothing special about them. They are very much copy and paste with different skin. No Man's Sky is really the only one that doesn't truly fit into this category. Enshrouded feels like the byproduct of a neglected genre. The developers seem like they actually love gaming. They took everything wrong with previous survival games and they turned into Thanos to fix it.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
Alright, awesome. Listen, thank you so much for kind of giving us the rundown on Enshrouded. Now we're going to jump into our next section, our men's health section. Titan is in a different stage in his life than myself, single, 20's, and in college. I thought it would be great to bring a different perspective to the table. So, for my first question, what are some of the social or family pressures you feel at this stage in your life?
Personally, I try to just focus on myself. I am really just trying to become the best person that I want to be. I really don't want to listen to unnecessary criticism. I feel like I surround myself with people who actually support me and who are willing to give advice or suggestions when needed. As for society, we can see that it's barely holding on by a thread, so it's more of an existential dread rather than a pressure.
As a younger man, can you share with us some of your goals that you have set for yourself, both long-term and short-term?
Well, recently I've started school to help further my education and move me into a long-term career. One of my biggest regrets is that I never applied myself in high school, and it really did make an impact. Not necessarily on careers, but in life in general. It's so easy to get complacent and just kind of give the bare minimum. My long-term goal is to apply myself to everything that I do. When you don't have the right balance, it's easy to get burnt out, and then you go back to giving the bare minimum. I'm working on finding the perfect balance for myself to keep me consistent.
Okay, I gotcha. So what do you feel are some of the most important aspects of your life right now?
Right now, it's really just about finding my place in the world. I'm just trying to learn as much as possible so that I can find out what I actually enjoy, what I want for the future, and just knowing myself. I'm definitely behind on this, but setting my future self up for success. I've heard the quote that goes like this: "Future you is depending on present you to keep the promises you made yourself yesterday." And this really stuck with me. It's easy to forget how one change can alter the course of our entire history completely. It's important to be conscious of our own actions.
Oh wow, that was a great answer. Hey, so my next question, this is going to be a funny one and just throwing it out there. How is dating for your generation?
Well, I've been single for a long time.
A long time.
So, we won't even go there. But other people my age seem to be doing really good.
Alright, cool. Alright, so what are some of the biggest challenges you feel you face in this stage in your life?
At this point, it's the future. I mean, prices are rising and wages are staying the same. I could genuinely rant for an hour about the state of this country right now, but I'm not going to here. It's bad, and we all know it's bad. The challenge is, how do we get out of this massive hole we're in? It's not just even the government, but it's the corrupt multi-billion-dollar companies that are just making it worse. The entertainment industry, for example, is under attack by greedy corporations who want to just siphon our money. This current trajectory is not leading to any positive outcome, and young people are really going to have the worst since we didn't even have a head start.
What advice can you give guys out there looking to make positive gains in their life who might be in your demographic?
Well, this really applies to everyone, but especially if you're younger. The more knowledgeable you become, the more meaningful your actions become. Take in as much as you can, learn and ask questions, and then ask questions about those questions. If you really want to make games, let go of that ego. You don't know it all. Lastly, just do it. We live a very fragile life, and it's best to just do what makes you happy, always.
I think that was amazing. Thank you so much. And thanks for hanging out with me today, Titan. Don't forget to check out his channel, Nerds Talk About Things, aka NTAT. Like and subscribe on this channel. And don't forget, you are the hero of your own game. Make the most of it.